What's up? I'm Cody Hill. Here's my student ID. And then here is my note card, front and back. All right. So my speech today is how to properly blow a duck call for mallards. And this speech is important because it's a very hard feat to do, with only 33% of the general population being able to properly blow a duck call and effectively get a duck to come in. Now, my statement of credibility on this topic is I am an avid waterfowl hunter. I've been hunting waterfowl since I was around 15, and I have worked in the industry for about 2 years now. A little preview of this is we're going to teach you how to blow a duck call step by step. And those steps are very important, meaning that the first step is identifying the duck and the range that they're at. The second step is using the right call to get them to come in. And the third step is properly using the call to get them to come in by making the effective audible noise to signal them to come land. From this outline, we'll go more in depth as I cover these main points. Identifying the range of a duck and the species. So this is very important to decide on the right call to use and to figure out how to call them in. Because if they're far away, you're going to be calling way differently than if they're up close. From an online source, mallard ducks are very easy to identify because they have an iridescent green head, a yellow bill, and a bigger body. And on top of that, you're going to want to identify the duck, because mallards respond to different calls than other ducks do, and vice versa. Because if you were a NBA player, you wouldn't actively respond to just some random fan as quickly as you would respond to a close family member or a family friend. And then you also want to identify that range, because without having a good range, you won't be able to really fully understand how to call them in. Because if they're far away, like I said, it's way different than if they're up close. And now that we've identified the range of a duck and the species, we're going to decide on making the right call to call it in. So up on the screen, we've got the short barrel call. This was made in Louisiana for the swamps and close timber, where the ducks are up close and on top of you. And the long barrel call, which is made for open water. A great example of this would be like the Great Lakes or just a wide lake in general. And it's important to decide on the right call because the situation varies a lot on when they're used. So a long barrel call, you'd ideally want to use it for if you're looking up and you see the ducks and they're very far off in the distance, or if they're up close, you're going to want to switch over at short barrel call, give them a good talking to. A diver call is a little pin whistle call, and you take it and it'll be like a tweet tweet, and that super faint whistle is what gets divers to come in because that's how they communicate with each other on a daily basis. And then you got a mallard call, which is a big body call, and with that call you're going to make a big quack noise essentially because they love hearing those quacks. And with that bigger body call, you can make a deeper call, which mallards have a deeper inflection in their voice compared to other ducks. Now that you've decided the right call to use, we're going to learn how to blow into that call to effectively communicate to the duck and get the duck to come land on our pond, hopefully. So to make the right call, you're going to want to take the call and you're going to essentially blow vrup, vrup, vrup in a deep voice into it. This is going to be like a loud quack that's going to get the duck excited. It's going to make them want to come land by you. And depending on the distance, if they're far away, you can do a hail call, which is a much louder call. It's essentially you're blowing into it and saying vrop, 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 like kind of an A instead of a U. And then if they're up close, they like the chuckle call, which is you kind of sit there with your throat, open it wide, and you kind of click your tongue almost, and it'll make a little faint chuckling feeding call, which is what they make whenever they're happy and eating a lot of grass. A great online source mentioned that it's very effective to sing along to a tempo of 3 blind mice while blowing the mallard call, because as you're sitting there and you're going quack, 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 it's essentially exactly how they sound in nature as they're communicating with each other and flying down and deciding where to land. And now that we've covered how to properly blow into a duck call, it should be where you need to get them to come land on you. So, closing statements. The biggest steps to a process is identifying a duck and how far away it is, deciding on the right call to lure them in, and blowing into the call properly to make the right noise. On top of that, it's always helpful to practice, because it's like anything you do in life. At first it's going to be pretty challenging, pretty hard to do. But as you practice more and more, it gets easier with time, and you'll be able to make great calls. And to cover main points again, we had identifying the range and species of a duck, deciding on the right call, and making the right call. Hopefully that's everything you need to know on how to properly call in a mallard, and you can use this speech in the future to learn how to communicate with them.